Hey guys, this is Sandy White from Simply Fit, your #1 health and wellness cheerleader and the host of Simply Fit. I hope you guys are having a good week. I wanted to share with you a couple things that you can do to make your upcoming holiday dinners a little bit more suggestible to your gut health, if that's possible, meaning you don't want to eat and fall asleep. So let me show you what to do so that you and your guests can enjoy the time together, talking and laughing versus sleeping the holidays away. Hey guys, I want to thank WYTV7 Community Broadcasters Network for allowing Simply Fit to be a part of their community and to come on every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to show you guys simple tips and strategies so that you can overcome your health and wellness challenges, goals, maintaining your health and wellness goals. And the reason we want to do this is because we're on a mission to save 1 million lives by encouraging individuals to live a simply fit life through health and nutrition. So with that being said, I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do for the holiday season so that once you eat, you can still be up, enjoying your family and having full energy versus eating and falling asleep. And typically, why that happens is because your body isn't processing the carbohydrates. You're having too many at one setting, and it's just throwing your body out of whack. So instead of having multiple cups, because that's usually what's going in the food, cups and cups of sugar, let me show you some alternatives that you can use for your sweet potatoes and for your green beans. And a lot of times the sweet potatoes they just have too much sugar in them. Okay, so I showed you guys last week monk fruit, which is really good for baking. That's a really good alternative. It doesn't leave an aftertaste. And that being said, I'm going to show you, if you don't want to use some monk fruit, and you won't need to have cups and cups of it, you can probably use a 4th cup if you want to still do sweet potatoes, but use monk fruit. That's not going to upset your glucose levels and spike it up and then drop it down, and then you guys are eating sweet potato pies, cornbread and things of that nature, and now you're so exhausted because your body isn't breaking all of those carbs down. So let's give you an alternative. So because we have a short segment here, I went and made a few of the garlic sweet potatoes that I want to show you, and they're still good. My son ate them. He gave me 2 thumbs up. If he doesn't like it, it's 2 thumbs down, but we got 2 thumbs up. Okay, so I'm going to start with I went and found the sweet potatoes that weren't fat. I needed the skinny ones because I needed to cut them up like French fries, like so. All right. So once you cut them up, you want to start off, it's not a good idea to bake the sweet potato unless you're actually going to have a baked sweet potato. And in this case, we're not going to do that. So we're going to take a peeler and you're going to peel the skin off. All right, and make sure you get the sweet potatoes that are skinny, not the fat, juicy ones. And then take it, cut it in half, and then from that point, you cut the edges off, and then you cut it in half, and then you want to slice it up, as you've seen me do here. And then from there, because if you want the potatoes this large, that's fine, but I cut them up so that they were nice and slim. All right, you can see that really good right there. You cut it up really slim, a couple of them here, and I'm telling you, and then you can serve it in a nice dish. Put some parchment paper in there where it looks like a little upside down napkin that you would have at your dinner table that you have folded up with your forks and knife in it. But take your time and get like a cylinder that's probably no longer than the palm of my hand, and then take the parchment paper and wrap it down, fold it out, just like you would see, let me see, I'm sure most of you have heard of Red Robin, so you see how they serve them. You can go to the dollar store and get the little French fry containers, similar to theirs, not exactly like theirs. And so then when you cut them up, you drop your French fries in the French fry container like they have, or a small candle holder, which is glass. You could do that, and then it looks nice and pretty. But as you can see, I cut up the potatoes. These are the sweet potatoes. I started out from here, nice long one. Don't get the fat one, it's gonna take you too long to cut it up. And then slice it in half, slice the edge, and then you're gonna end up with the wedges, unless you want them like this. Then from the wedges, you're gonna cut them nice and slim like this. And then from there, you're going to take them, stick them in your nice little, I've got the whatever bowl you have, mixing bowl. You want to take that and you want to put them in there. And this is olive oil, so you take a little bit of olive oil. It's a lot easier to mix it up in the bowl than it is if you take it and put it on the baking tray. Now if you don't have, now this is a baking sheet, so this is reusable. And you can get these at Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, I got mine from Bed Bath & Beyond, but you can get them from anywhere. These are baking sheets. That's all they are, if you don't have a parchment paper. So then you use a little bit of garlic. If you want to use the fresh garlic, you take the clove and you turn it on the, like, it's a flat side or somewhat flat, and then you have the bulky side. You flip it over and put one hand on it and poop, and then it'll, kind of open up, and then you can get the skin off. Or you can bake it first and get the peel off, the skin off, chop it up, and then throw it in your mixing. Because all I did was a little, it's probably not even a tablespoon of olive oil, just enough to coat all of the sweet potato fries that you created. And then I really like garlic, but if you don't like garlic, then you can toss in some salt and pepper, and the salt should be kosher. And then I just do like 1 or 2 little good squirts of the garlic because my family really likes it. And then I mix them up really good, get them mixed up really good. This now, I tell you, you don't want to have garlic on your hands, but here's a nice little trick. If you get garlic or fish or anything else stinky on your hands, put some soap in your hands and then put salt in your hands, and the salt will rub out the stinky impurities out of your skin by the time you're done washing your hands like you normally would. And in this case, since we're still dealing with COVID, you're going to be doing 20 to 30 seconds of washing your hands, inside and then the back side, inside out, in between the fingers, and then cup your fingers and get the fingernails, okay? Because garlic will get all up in there, so make sure you get that really good. And so, like I said, if you take a little bit of garlic, or the amount that you like, because I don't give you all measurements on this, because I am a garlic person. I really like garlic, so I will go all in. But in this case, I just did like 1.5 squirts to 2, and then some olive oil just to cover the sweet potatoes. And then I have my spatula because I like to get all of my scrapings, as my husband likes to say, because it's the garlic. And then when you bake this, you want to put it on 400 for about 20 minutes to 25 minutes. You want to watch this because garlic will burn on you really, really fast. And then as far as baking, like I like my French fries nice and tender, and with the garlic, they're not going to get mushy, and they're not going to be like crunchy. You'll get the gist of what I'm saying once you make it. It's kind of going to be like a perfect texture for it. The thing is, again, you want to make sure that you're watching the time. 400 on your oven. Give it about 20 minutes, 25, and then it comes out like this. I did a little bit before, just again because we don't have much time on our segment, so I want to let you guys see how it is. Now these are, for me, a nice texture. It's not too loose or wiggly, and it's not too hard, and it has a nice garlic taste, so I like it. So hopefully you'll like it and your family will like it. And that's another alternative, instead of taking this sweet potato, this precious fruit that's good for your body, and dousing it with a bunch of sugar. All right, so anybody that's doing that, just try the monk fruit. That's the sugar, the monk fruit sugar, and you'll use a lot less than you would the white table sugar. All right, so I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to show you guys an alternative for your green beans, because what a lot of people do, I'm going to leave that here. You won't need this. What a lot of people do is they put a lot of, they make the green beans so salty. Now it's raising, it's too much sodium, and now your cholesterol is just kicking all over, inflammation, you're swelling up. They taste good, don't get me wrong, but then, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. You got rings on your fingers, and now your rings are stuck because you're all swollen. That's too much salt going on in there. So here's a quick alternative. Smoked turkey wings. That's it. Inside your green beans. Now, I'm using the canned one, and I've done this. I've done the fresh ones, and I've done the frozen ones, and I've done the canned. So it doesn't matter. So don't say, I don't have money for fresh, I don't have money for frozen. Get the can. Here's the thing. When you use the can option, you want to make sure that you rinse off all of the impurities. The canned green beans have a lot of preservatives in them, and that is so that the canned foods that you're purchasing can last a long time. And it's okay to get the canned food. It's just what you need to do with it so that you're not consuming what they put in it to make it last longer on the shelf. So you want to make sure you do not cook the green beans in the juice that they came in from the grocery store. You want to make sure you rinse them out really good. And I just get a nice little strainer like this. I pour the green beans in, and then I rinse them. You know, a good 3 or 4 times. And you can use the can that it came in and put the water in. Put the water in here in the can, and then boop, boop, a couple times, 2 or 3 times. And once you're done with that, now we're not going to have time for me to do this 100%, so I'm just running through this so you know what to do. You take a nice big pot like this, and the reason you want to do that is because you need to put the smoked turkey wings on the bottom first. All right, so I take them out, and if you don't eat this once the green beans are done, do not throw it away, because I have something else that I want to share with you. All right, smoked turkey wings, and I always leave a bag on the side, that way I can clean up as I go along with my cooking and preparation. So then when you're done with everything, you're literally done. You only need to stick your dishes in the dishwasher and you're good to go. All right, so big pot, smoked turkey wings are in the bottom, and then I use the chicken broth. This is organic, so the sodium is going to be low. And let me see if they tell me on here. Yeah, well, it's a little higher than I was expecting, but it's not too high. Because one, we are not going to eat it. You're not going to consume it. You're going to do a kind of a plethora of things. So you can use the chicken bone broth that has the sodium, and I think it's like less than 100. Or you can use the chicken broth and kind of do half and half. A little bit of the chicken broth, and then when you do the second option that I'm going to tell you, you want to discard half of it. All right, so let's, because I'm getting ahead of myself. So with the green beans, you want to, as I was telling you, if you use the can option, use the can, fill it up with water, like pour all of the water out, first of all. Then you want to use a strainer so that you're discarding all of the juice that came in the can. And then you're using a strainer to make sure that you're rinsing the green beans off really good. You have to cook these on high for about 30 minutes, and that's usually about the length of time that it's going to take before it starts boiling. The water, well, not the water, but your chicken broth starts boiling. And then you want to turn it down and let it cook for about an hour and a half. So that's about a good 2 hours that it's going to cook. And that way you don't have the canned taste on the green beans if you decide to use the can. Now, if you use fresh or frozen, same thing. You don't want that frozen taste, and you don't want that just pick them out of the dirt taste. So you're still going to need about a 2-hour process on whichever option you do. So you put the smoked turkey wings in a pot. You use some of the chicken broth, and all you want to do, like I said, you position the turkey parts in the bottom. You take the green beans, you put them on top of the turkey parts, and then you want to cover them with the chicken broth. And it should be enough chicken broth to cover the green beans. And then once you do that, and usually a pot like this, 1 pack of smoked turkey wings, and this can is about, what do they say? This is 102 ounces of green beans. And you're supposed to have 2 cups per meal. And not just green beans, but of any green vegetables, 2 cups of green vegetables per meal. So that's a good amount that you can give to your guests. 2 good cups of green beans. Make sure they cook for 2 hours. But the first 30 minutes, just on high until it boils, with your smoked turkey wings in the bottom, green beans on top of the smoked turkey wings, and then you want to cover them with your chicken broth. This is organic because it has a lot less impurities in it. And then you can also, if you're really having challenges with your sodium levels, your cholesterol, things like that, make sure you are using low sodium, right? That way you don't swell up or anything like that. Now, here's the kicker that I was going to share with you after you're done with your green beans. You get the green beans out. Make sure you don't have any green beans at the bottom. I'm going to put these on the side. And then you take the turkey wings out. You could do this beforehand or after. And it doesn't matter if you do this before or if you do it after. You want to make sure that you leave the bone in. If you take, because what we're going to do is use the chicken broth that was cooked with the smoked turkey wings to make turkey, zucchini, and what do we have over here? And squash soup. Oh, and here's another thing if you want a little bit more flavor. I'm backtracking. So with the green beans, it's the smoked turkey parts in the bottom. You use your chicken broth to cover the green beans. Make sure you rinse the green beans out really, really well. Clean them if they're fresh, and if they're frozen, just make sure there's no additional ice in it. You want to make sure that everything is just clean. And if you use the can, then use a strainer, put the green beans in a strainer, and then take the can to give you a gauge of how many times you've put fresh water over them. 2 or 3 times is a good enough time to get that canned taste off of them. It's not going to totally remove it until after you do the 2-hour process that I was saying. The first 30 minutes, you want to boil the water, and then you want to turn it down to like a low medium heat, and then let it cook for an additional hour and 30 minutes. And if you want additional flavor, you can cut up an onion, but that's it. There's no seasoning, there's no salt, there's no pepper, there's no nothing. Just smoked turkey wings and a little bit of onion if you want that. And when I say a little bit, I'm actually meaning the whole onion. And don't leave it with ginormous pieces in it. Cut it up where it looks like, these right here. This is nice because, see, once you're done cooking them, they're going to shrink. Now, I did the vegetables like this because sometimes, check the dates on them, but you don't always have to go and get 9,000 pieces of fruits and vegetables and cut them all up. You can get them pre-made if you want to. If you don't, of course, you're going to spend a little bit more if you get them pre-cut. But when my week is kind of busy, I just go ahead and just get them pre-cut. So they do have these in your grocery store. Now, you can do, now we're back on to what you do after you're done with the green beans. You take the green beans out, put them in a different container. We don't want any green beans left in the chicken broth. We want all of that out, because now you are going to take the chicken broth and you are going to make smoked turkey, zucchini, and squash, if I get that out, soup. And I've already got them pre-cut, but we don't want to stick them in here like this, but you don't want to put them in there where they're super duper skinny. I'm going to come back to the turkey too. We don't want them super duper skinny, and you can leave them like this, because they'll get nice and soft, and then it'll actually be like noodles. But if you don't want them that soft, I would recommend just slicing them in half like this. All right, and they'll still get soft enough where they'll be like they'll act as noodles, but they won't be noodles. All right, and this cuts down carbs. So chicken noodle soups, a lot of times people overdo it. All right, so all you need is some vegetables of your choice, and in mine I've got green peppers, red peppers, I've got some mushrooms and some white onions, and I've got zucchini, and they've got it nice and sliced, really good for me, and squash, yellow squash. All right, so as I was saying with the turkey parts, you could do this beforehand or after. You can cut this up, and hopefully you'll do this if you don't want to do it after, because this turkey does get really hot, and it takes a bit of time for it to cool off. So I like to cut it ahead of time. So just nice little slices, and once you're done, and don't try to take all of the meat off the bone, just enough so you're slicing them up. So you just got nice little turkey slices. All right, I think you guys can see that really good. All right, and on the wing, you're not getting anything off of that, but it does really good with flavoring. So make sure that you don't discard that. And again, it's not hard when you take the slices off before it's total. The smoked turkey wing is already cooked, just so you guys know, it's already cooked. But you want to extract that flavor out. So that's why with the green beans, you want it to cook for about 2 hours. Now, once it's done, you can do a couple things. So you can take the turkey out, let it cool off, and then slice it. Or you could take the turkey parts that you put in, that you made with the green beans, leave them in there, and then take a fresh set of smoked turkey wings. And it usually is about 4 of them. And y'all can see these are some hefty looking turkey wings. It's about 4 of them. You could take the previous ones, leave them in the juice, just make sure all the green beans are out, and then take a fresh set. And don't get the frozen one, because sometimes they come frozen. That's not going to work for you. All right, so you can take a fresh pack of smoked turkey wings, and then you can slice it, and then you can stick it in there, and it will boil, and you'll get even double the flavor. So as you can see, it's not taking long for me to cut this. The only thing is with the one that the smoked turkey wings that are that you actually, if you take them and you say, no, I don't want to do a fresh pack of turkey wings, I want to use the one that I've already got, then you're going to need to take the skin off, because the skin is going to separate from the meat, and I would recommend that, because if you cut it up prior to it boiling, the skin will stay on. That's if you like the skin. So that just gives you an option. So you're doing double duty with the food that you have, and you're not totally discarding it. I like to do that. And so what you do is you take, so let's say you had previous turkey wings, and y'all can see I cut these up. So you're putting the fresh ones in, you got the previous ones, you sliced and diced the turkey, which is really good. Get a knife that works for you, okay? And then you can either leave them whole like this, and I like to just slice them like that, and just go right in the center, and then slice everything. Get yourself a nice big pot. If you don't have a nice big pot, but you have a crock pot, you could set that puppy on 8 hours and get up in the morning and you are done for dinner. So when your family and you come home, you are good to go. And look, guys, I didn't want to do a lot of prep time because this week and next week is going to be pretty hectic for me and my family. A spirit week for my kids at their school, so they got all these games and different things that they get to do. Like today was pajama day. Tomorrow they get to dress up like their teacher. And I'm sure you know those of you who have children, y'all have the same scenario. So I'm just letting you know I'm not immune from any busyness. And I still gotta cook, and I know you do. So I just wanted to give you some tips on how you can make a healthy meal for your family, and with it not like overwhelming you. And so again, these pieces are huge, and all I'm doing with the zucchini and the squash, I just cut it down the center. See, like so. And y'all can see what I'm doing. All I'm doing is slicing it, putting it in here. And we're going to put, these are already pre-cut. You can go to the farmer's market and get, well, the farmer's market is not going to have them cut up. You're going to have to cut them up. But you can go to Aldi's, Safeway. If you have a Super Walmart, they have them. And then, look, you see how quick I'm getting through with this dinner? My turkey is already in the bottom. I done put my onions, my red peppers, my green peppers. See, it had red, green, onion, zucchini. I put the squash in there. I got 5 more to go. And I'm slicing this puppy up. And I'm telling you, it's going to get nice and tender, nice vegetable soup. And this is going to help with inflammation. It's going to just give your body a chance to relieve all of that sodium and that pressure that your body has. It's going to make you feel really good. And it's getting cold, so you need something on your belly that, one, is not taxing to your system and will make you just feel really good and calm and tranquil. Sometimes you put too much on your body and it's like, give me a break, would you please? So with the sodium, that's no joke. So you want to watch the sodium, and then with, and what you can do, remember I told you, you are going to only use half of, the box, these are not reusable, but I reuse them, to discard some of the juice. So once you're done cooking, so like if you use 2 or 3 of these, take about 1.5 of the juice out, and all you need is, you can use your measuring cup that has a little spout on it, pour some of that juice back in the little cup, and then pour it back in here, freeze it, and then on your trash night, that's another tip, freeze it on your trash night, stick it in the trash, and then you never have to worry about spills. So that was one, and I am going to put another one in. Now this is organic, so it's not going to have a lot of sodium in it, but again, I also told you guys that you can use the bone broth. I prefer to use the bone broth, but I didn't see that today. And where I normally find it is at Costco. So to me, that's a better way to get in your chicken broth, because it's, those humongous cases, and I go through a lot of these. And if you don't catch these on sale, and honestly guys, 2 of these for $4 is no comparison to getting a case for about $8 from Costco. So I try to buy as many things as possible that I can in bulk from Costco or Sam's or wherever you're getting it from, if you're going to be using it on a regular basis, because you save a lot more money. And then This is the heavy whipping cream, and this just makes your broth a little thicker. So you can use, I'm gonna eyeball this, but you can use about a cup to a cup and a half, and it just makes it so creamy, so thick. And all we have in here is smoked turkey wings. We have onions, green peppers, red peppers, mushrooms, all the good stuff that your body likes, zucchini, and squash. And then, boom, you have not, only thing you got rid of was about, one container. If you like wanted a little juicy, one container of your chicken stock chicken broth that you use to make your green beans. All right, and then that is it, guys. So you can serve, and you can also serve this to your guests. A nice hearty soup. Serve soup before your main courses. That'll help people fill up. That'll also help their digestion. And remember the sweet potato fries? It's just garlic, olive oil, or I use the organic olive oil because I don't want a whole bunch of junk in it. And then you bake them for about 20 minutes, 25. Eyeball it because garlic will burn on you. And then you end up with I should have put a lot more on there, but we were eating them as usual. Sorry guys, they're good. But they come out like that. So you don't want to cut them super duper small because they will shrink on you. So these went down to these, the little pencil ones. But you're not going to be sleepy. You're not going to have less energy because I didn't put a bunch of sugar in your body. Sugar cuts it. What it does is it knocks off your defense system for about 24 hours. And that's, to me, is insane. You would not go on vacation and leave your front door open with the alarm off and all your windows. No, you wouldn't do that because you value the home that you're in. So you're going to close the doors, lock them, close the windows and lock them, and you're going to turn on your alarm. So let's not put excessive sugar in our bodies and then turn off the alarm, which is your immune system for taking care of you, making sure that you're healthy and you're safe. So use an alternative, which is monk fruit. When you find that you've eaten some carbs or you've eaten some sugar, and now all of a sudden you're getting sleepy, you're getting tired, and you're just, hey, that's letting you know that you're insulin resistant, and it's something that you can do about it. You can change the way you're eating, and you can change, do swap outs. So I'm not using regular noodles, I'm using vegetables. And I don't want the same thing with the vegetables, it's the same thing with the sweet potatoes. You don't want to cut them too thin because they aren't going to shrink when they cook. And you want to be able to see them and you want to be able to taste them. All right, guys, so that wraps up. I'm Sandy White, your #1 health and wellness cheerleader and the host of Simply Fit. We broadcast every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you check your time zone, and that way you don't miss any of our segments. Go to WYTV7 Community Broadcasters Network and check out the platform and all of the wonderful things that we're doing in the community. We want to continue to bless your life, and we want you to share what we're doing with someone else so that they can have their life blessed. And guys, as I like to tell you all the time, being healthy is more than just exercise. You can exercise, your body needs it, but if you're not going to put the right things in your body, it's not going to help you. So make sure you're taking these tips and these strategies and you're implementing them in your life. Take one thing at a time. If you try to do everything at one time, you're going to eventually stop because you're going to find it overwhelming. I don't want this overwhelming. But for the holidays, I want you to be able to enjoy your family. I want you to eat and fall asleep. So take the alternative and do the garlic fries. And even if you decide you want to bake the sweet potato, then use the kosher salt and the garlic instead of sugar and load it with excessive butter. And then start your meal off with a nice hearty soup. We did our green beans. We make sure whether it's frozen, it's fresh, or it's canned. If you use a can or you use frozen, just make sure you get all the ice off if it's frozen. If it's canned, you want to make sure you get all of the nasty impurities that are in the can to preserve the green beans, because they have a really long shelf life. So we want to get rid of all of that. That's why you don't want to eat or cook your food in the juice that it came in. And then we want to I use the organic. You don't have to. You can use regular chicken broth, or you can use bone broth. Bone broth has less than 100 grams of sodium, and the calories are super duper low. I'm very certain it's less than 40. But you can cook in it, and then once you're done, you can actually drink it, and you won't have sodium challenges, meaning your body is going to swell up because you got too much salt in it. So that's why I said if you use the chicken broth, take about one of the cups or boxes, fill it back up with juice, take it out, and then put about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of the heavy whipping cream in. You can use the turkey, smoked turkey parts that you use when you cook the green beans, and then you can use some fresh smoked turkey wings and cut them up and put it in there. You don't want to do all that. You just want to use the one that you previously used from the green beans. Let it cool off really good, because it stays hot very long and all the way down to the bones. You don't want to burn your hand unless you have the rubber cooking gloves. Then you can take it out, and make slice and dice. Don't try to get all the meat off the bone. Put it back in into the stock that you have left. 2 cups of the heavy whipping cream. Put in your zucchini and your squash, and as y'all saw, I had them, they were already cut, but cut them up in half. And then I had the onions, the red peppers, the green peppers, and the mushrooms. All good for your body. All right, guys, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this segment on how to have a wonderful, healthy holiday meal. All right. Until next Wednesday, see you later. I'm Sandy White. I'm Simply Fit, your #1 health and wellness cheerleader.